So let's talk about mid-combo throws real fast. Throws in this game, as I'm sure you know, are done by pressing either your magical throw macro button, or 1 and 3 at the same time. The default throw is a back throw, oops. The default throw is a back throw, but you can just hold forward and get a forward throw. Throws can be teched if your opponent presses 1 or 3 when you're trying to do a back throw, or 2 and 4, or 4 when you're trying to do a forward throw, then they will tech and get out of it. And let me show you what that looks like real fast. Just looks like this. And they take a little bit of damage, it's not too big. If they're blocking, or if they're crouching and not blocking, so if they're ducking and not blocking, then throws will whiff, because throws are highs. As soon as they start blocking when they're down, then you can throw them. Although I still have the dummy set to break. So that's more or less how throws work. Now, one of the funny things about this game is you can actually just throw somebody when they are in hit stun at any time, so you can use that as an interesting restand like this. This is not necessarily the best combo in the world, but it certainly showcases that mid-combo throws do in fact work. And that's really great, unless your opponent is teching. And you can tech a mid-combo throw just by kind of, hitting your face against the stick or controller or whatever you use. It's not that hard. I'm just literally hitting every single button at the same time, and it doesn't matter whether it's a forward throw or back throw, I'm always going to get out of that. So that means that, you're restanding at neutral, which is still pretty advantageous for some characters. Like, for example, if you're facing kind of a zoning character and you're playing, like, somebody who wants to be in your face, then, making them tech a throw isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. Again, they're standing right next to you. But at the same time, you do lose out that 10% damage or whatever you want to attack on to the end of your combo. Still, this is certainly a very easy thing to do. You just kind of run up to your airborne opponent and you hit the throw button, and you get a little bit of damage. So unless your opponent proves that you shouldn't be doing it by hitting every button on his or her controller at the same time, then keep doing it. So let me talk about something else real fast. Let me turn this off. So, it's still set to tech, isn't it? So, give me one moment. I could have just hit default, that would have been way faster. So, you also have the, gosh darn it, I'm really bad at this. So, you also have the option to meter burn a throw. You just press throw and then block relatively quickly afterwards, and this does a standing reset. And this is actually really good. You get a lot of advantage. It's kind of similar to, for example, Cassie's, oops, if I can do it, that move, where they're just kind of in your face. You can see how bad I am doing that. And you get to do like an overhead or a low, or whatever you want. But not a lot of characters have this option. Cassie has it, and then people are kind of pretending that they have it with Scorpion or Ermac by using other moves that force the opponent to stand and then doing strings that leave them at advantage. But it's not necessarily a thing that everybody in the cast has. But we can take advantage of the ability to combo with throws, and we can pretend that everybody in the cast has it. Oops. By successfully doing a throw, which is apparently really hard. And then, we can do our low or overhead because we've restood our opponent by using a meter burn throw. And this does cost a meter, and this doesn't leave you at anywhere near as much advantage as, for example, meter burn this. Like, you can, look at how much frame advantage I had there. But you still get the high-low throw / safe mid or whatever pressure string, and your opponent can't really do a lot except armor out, and it's really hard to armor out on the first hit if you're doing anything legit, because you're still in stagger, essentially, before the first bit of the mix-up hits you. So, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully it gave somebody some ideas on how they can, extend a combo or something, and do a mix-up on a character that they couldn't necessarily do it on. So, Katana doesn't really have a standing vortex or whatever, so we can use our combo example from earlier, and then, oops, and then theoretically do an overhead. And then do an overhead, and we get a little nifty mix-up, and we can also go for a low there. Oops, and then we can also go for a low there, after we get a meter run throw. Oops. and we can try to convert off that. And this just really opens up a lot of possibilities for a lot of characters. So, the ability to trade a resource for a thing that your character doesn't normally have. And that's pretty much what you use meter for, You use meter for the ability to drop out of combos, or to get out of a nasty block string, or to armor through something, And those are all things that your character doesn't have without access to meter, and this is just another one of them. So I hope that somebody can do something cool with this.